Hey everyone, Pastor Plays here, and today we are doing my Pokemon Day 2025 bingo card. So, a few rules we need to go over before we go over our bingo card. Number one, we are doing 25 different predictions, a classic bingo card. Number two, we're going to keep it Pokemon related only since this is a Pokemon Day Presents. Number three, we're going to go both what I think is going to be announced and what I would like to be announced. No matter how far-fetched these ideas are, I need to fill out 25 boxes on my bingo card, so some of these will be obvious things, and some of them will be out of left field. So, let's get to it.
Welcome to my Pokemon Day 2025 Predictions Bingo card. We're going to go ahead and start off with the things that I feel are more than likely going to happen, and that is announcements of events or updates to Pokemon's mobile games. We'll start with Pokemon Cafe Remix. I feel like some sort of event is going to happen. We'll go ahead and throw that one right there next to the free space. Pokemon Sleep is also still going strong. I have a feeling we're going to get some sort of announcement for this, and I'll go ahead and put that towards the bottom there. We'll try to get it to fit in the bingo square. Pokemon Masters EX is another one. Definitely expecting some sort of update, some sort of event happening. So we'll go put that in the top right. And I'm just placing these randomly, guys. And another mobile app that I think is going to get an update or an event is Pokemon Unite, which I will put right there. That seems like a good place for it. There are two specific mobile apps / mobile games that I did not put on here, and for good reason. The first one being the more controversial, and that is Pokemon Go. There have been rumors circulating online that Niantic is looking to sell to Saudi Arabia, and I know that is a topic of contention for a lot of people. So with these last four, those are ones that I feel like are going to be announced. This one's one that I want, and I want them to cover Pokemon Go as little as possible. Announce whatever event is happening and move on. Do not let people tear apart your announcement or start, bringing up the discussion. Just blink of an eye and you miss it. Announce what the event is and move on. The other mobile app that I know, and I'm hoping, again, this is a want, is Pokemon TCG Pocket announces either a third and a fourth pack expansion to the current Space-Time Smackdown expansion packs that they have. Palkia and Dialga are both featured on those packs. I think an expansion of either, let's say, Arceus by himself, or Arceus and Giratina getting, two other packs would be amazing and would help revitalize the game. As a hardcore player of Pokemon TCG Pocket, I will admit that I'm a little bored with the app right now. I feel like 2 packs, 2 different strings of collections has been very lackluster. I mean, at the beginning it was a lot of fun, but now polls are getting harder to get anything good, and there's not much new. And I think introducing 2 expansions, even just one, would help revitalize the game a little bit. And that's why I have Arceus and Giratina there, and I'm going to go ahead and throw them right there above Pokemon Sleep. Moving on, let's talk about some more things that I would like to happen. And I think this is a big one. We're going to label this one under what I would like and what I am expecting. And that is the announcement of the classic games. I'm saying, hopefully, I think more realistically, we're looking at Gens 1 through 3. I would love an announcement of Gens 1 through 7. Is 8's on the Switch, I believe. So it would be amazing to hear that they're going to be announced for the NSO. Do I think they're going to be announced on the NSO? Absolutely not. Pokemon would be stupid to give these games out for free. Now, there has been a rumor about a collection coming out that will feature Pokemon Red, Pokemon Gold, Ruby, and Fire Red. And on the other side, there would be a different collection featuring Blue, Silver, Sapphire, and Leaf Green. From what I've read posted online, if you were to pre-order those collections, you'll get Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Crystal, and Pokemon Emerald as a pre-order bonus. This, again, is only if you're pre-ordering the digital copy. The rumor states that the other ones will get physical copies as well. And as someone who's a little bit of a collector, that irks me that some games will be physical and some games won't. And I know that I won't want to get the physical if I can't get the third versions as physical copies. But at the same time, Pokemon did really well re-releasing Gens 1 and 2 on the DS as just Virtual Console. So, again, take that news with a grain of salt. It is just a rumor. It's been posted online. There's an article, you can look it up. Realistically, my want for this is for them to release it on the Switch Nintendo, or the Nintendo Switch Online for free. Do I think that's going to happen? No. If I were a businessman, I wouldn't give it away for free. It would be stupid to give it away for free. But I am fully expecting and wanting an announcement of the classic games. And I'll go ahead and put that one next to the free space here right in the middle. Going along with the announcement of the older games, the classic games being brought to the Switch, I think it's fitting that one of the predictions is connectivity to Pokemon Stadium. I think not allowing the first gen Pokemon to connect to Pokemon Stadium and then first and second both to connect to Pokemon Stadium 2 would be a disservice. It would make the way the game is online already for Switch Online, you can only use the rental Pokemon, and for me, honestly, it's not anything fun to do. I think part of the fun of Pokemon Stadium is to bring your own Pokemon that you've battled with, that you've trained, and get to see them in 3D. And I really, really hope that they find some way to have connectivity to Pokemon Stadium and let you use your own Pokemon in Stadium. I'll be placing Stadium right here on the bingo card. And then also, I'm going to loop this in with Pokemon Stadium, some connectivity from the classic games to just Pokemon Home. Sorry, Pokemon Home. That's not going to be a bingo space, but I'm hoping that that does come to fruition. Moving right along, still coattailing on the connectivity with Pokemon Stadium, I think if the old games are going to be released on the Switch or the Switch 2, you're looking at, specifically with Gen 3, certain events that I would like to see come back for us to get the full version of that game. And those events would be distributions for certain items, like Professor Oak's letter. And I believe that's 4th gen to be able to get to a Shaman. The old C map in Gen 3, specifically Emerald, so you can shiny hunt Mew. I think distributions of those games or those items, Azure Flute for Gen 4, I think that would be amazing because then we get to experience the full version of the game. So I'm going to put that as a want, that they re-release certain items and certain events for the classic games to, have that full-fledged experience. And I'm going to put that, I'm trying to find a place where I feel like it's safe to put it. I'm going to put it right here. All right, and then still games that I think are going to be announced. Obvious one would be Pokemon Black and White remakes. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I am going to split the comment section here. I don't like Pokemon Black and White at all. I'm going to place it right here. I was not a fan. I was not a fan of Pokemon Black and White. I know a lot of people think that Black and White is the definitive generation, is one of the greatest generations. I rank it very low. It was just not my cup of tea. So I'm not interested in remakes of this game. If it's announced, cool. I have a feeling it's going to be. It's definitely on my what I'm expecting list. Do I want it like BDSP? Absolutely not. But I have a feeling we are going to get some sort of black and white announcement. Now, more of what I want. This one's going to come out of left field. There was a segue there that I could have done, but I didn't. And that's related to Pokemon Stadium. I want a new Pokemon Stadium game to be announced. They did a new Pokemon Snap a few years back. I think a new Pokemon Stadium would be amazing. Make it happen. Make it connect with Pokemon Home. You can bring whatever Pokemon into this. Make sure it's updated to the latest gen. I think a new Pokemon Stadium game would be amazing. And I'm going to go ahead and put it right here under Masters EX. I feel like right here in my bingo card is probably the most likely way to get a completion. And it's right here depending on what I put in here. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Do I want it to happen? Yes. In that same vein, I'm going to go ahead with the completely opposite. Do I think this is going to happen? I have a weird feeling that it's going to happen. Do I want it to happen? No. And that is the announcement of Let's Go Johto. I have a very terrible feeling that we're going to get these games. I'm not too much of a fan of the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games. I mean, as somebody that used to play Pokemon Go a lot, it's a nice way to bring in the original 151. Actually, 150, because you can't bring Mew in. But to bring the original 150 and then Melmetal and Meltan into the game and shiny hunt them, reset for your, speed IV and get the nature you want. I think it's fantastic as a game. I don't think it's very good. And I don't think I want to revisit Johto in the form of a Pokemon Go spin-off. I think I would much prefer having Gold, Silver, Crystal and Heart Gold and Soul Silver be ported onto the Switch. Therefore, I'm going to label the Let's Go Johto games as something I expect, but not something that I really want. Staying in the vein of remakes, I'm going to go ahead and drop one of my biggest wants yet. I am very, very certain that it is not going to happen. I will be pleasantly surprised if it does. And that is remakes of two classic GameCube games, and that is a remake of Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness. If you are a subscriber to my channel, I am currently playing Pokemon Colosseum on the channel for the very first time ever. And honestly, I am really liking this game, and I know I've only heard really good things about XD Gale of Darkness. Again, I've never played it. I think this would be a great remake. Bring it on to the Switch or the Switch 2. Do I think it's going to happen? Absolutely not. Do I want it to happen? Yes. I'm putting that in the bottom corner there. There's a possibility that we get the ports onto the Switch, but we don't have GameCube as part of NSO, which brings me to my next prediction, and this is another bold prediction, that we are going to, through Pokemon Day, get the announcement that the NSO will be getting the DS. In my opinion, the DS era is the home that Pokemon built. Pokemon Gen 4, all the way through Sun and Moon. This was their baby. Those were the highest selling games on the DS. And I think it would only be fitting to announce that the NSO is getting the DS by announcing games like Pokemon Ranger or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon coming to the Switch. I think this would be a great way for NSO to get the DS and have Pokemon be the one to introduce it. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think this is probably something that they would want to save for the Switch 2. I don't know the minutia or the details of how a DS game would be ported to the Switch. Realistically, the DS did have virtual console games on the Wii U, so it is doable. How it's gonna be done is still iffy, but that's one of my bold predictions, that Nintendo announces the DS coming to the NSO via Pokemon Day by re-releasing older games like Pokemon Ranger and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Segue from the Nintendo DS would be two picks. Well, one really big pick from my brother. My brother helped me pick some things because towards the end there, I got really crunched for squares. And one of his big things is he wants a remake of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. So I told him I'd throw this on the bingo card for him. This is another want via him. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'd be pleasantly surprised if it did. The other thing would be Pokemon Ranger getting a remake. I think a remake for Pokemon Ranger would be more likely than getting the port, because again, we don't know how the DS is going to work on the Switch. So I'm going to throw Pokemon Ranger and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky remakes as wants, and, you know, probably not going to get it. The next item on my list is a 2-for-1, actually two different ones. I honestly feel like we are going to get a trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA. I think it's long overdue. We are due for this. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the middle just to kind of help secure a win here on my bingo card. I think we're going to get more information. And with that, I would also like to add to the bingo card that I think we are going to get the starters for Legends ZA. I don't believe these are the 3 starters. I just picked a picture randomly online, and I will go ahead and throw those up here in the top left corner. I think within that trailer, we're going to get our starters for that. I do not think we're going to get their evolutions, but I think we're going to get to know who our starters are, and I think both of those are pretty solid picks for the Pokemon Day bingo card. These next few picks for the bingo card, I'm going to rank from most likely to least likely. The most likely would be to see a mystery gift event happen in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I think some sort of code will be announced during the Pokemon Presents and will probably last until this weekend. I know we are getting one of the European champions, Jumpluffs, as a mystery gift already. That's happening until the 28th, I believe. I think there's a good chance that we get something else. Maybe it's items, maybe it's another Pokemon to celebrate, maybe it's a Pokemon with a special move, but I think that's a good pick for our bingo card. I think moving on, let's say, so now we're getting into a little bit less likely territory. I think we are going to get an announcement about Pokemon Bank. It's been a bit since they've said they've shut down the Nintendo 3DS servers. I think we are going to get a definitive date of when Pokemon Bank will be shutting down, which unfortunately will coincide with these older games not having a connection to the newer games, which will probably go hand in hand with the announcement of the classic games. So I do think we're going to get some sort of definitive date of when Pokemon Bank will close. More on the less likely side, I think out of the next 2, this one's probably the more likely, and that's getting a distribution of Shiny Koraidon and Miraidon, the Scarlet and Violet box legendaries. I think we're going to get some sort of announcement of a distribution happening at GameStop. And I think I think we might get an announcement of Pokemon Bank before we get that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did get some sort of distribution for their shinies. The next one on my bingo card would be tying into the classic games being debuted and connectivity to Pokemon Home, which would be an announcement of another Pokédex completion mystery gift in the form of some either mythical or legendary shiny that we cannot get currently. This is why I picked the silhouette of Zarude. as we cannot get a shiny Zarude right now. I think with the Pokedex completion challenges, we're going to get some sort of announcement that Pokemon Home will update and give you guys a mystery gift if you complete the dex. Currently, Pokemon Home is doing, please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. If you complete all 3 Pokedexes in Scarlet and Violet, you get a shiny Meloetta. Completing the dex, the Hisui dex in Legends Arceus, gets you a shiny Enamorus, which I have luckily been able to claim. Completing the dex in Scarlet and Violet gets you a shiny Keldeo, which I'm currently undertaking on stream. Hey, future pastor here. I meant to say Sword and Shield instead of Scarlet and Violet. I messed up, so oopsie. Back to the video. BDSP gets you a shiny Manaphy, which I have not started it yet, but I will be completing that. And then you get a shiny Meltan. Not Melmetal, Meltan, so the little one. If you complete the Let's Go Dex, which I think is a little controversial because the only way you can evolve him is in Pokemon Go unless they release some sort of evolution method for him. And honestly, we've already had the shiny Meltan and Melmetal events happening in Pokemon Go, so that was one that was available. So I think we're gonna get some more, depending on if we do get the announcements for the older games and if we get connectivity to Pokemon Home. And for my last 2 predictions, I'm gonna go out of left field here. I'm gonna go ahead and announce the first one, which is a teaser for Pokemon Generation 10. Do I want this? No. I was on the team that I felt like it was too soon to get the announcement for Scarlet and Violet, but next year we'll celebrate 30 years of Pokemon, and I think we need something to end the Pokemon Direct with at least a teaser. I don't want the name, I don't want... Oh, okay, let me backtrack. I don't want the name of the games. Maybe the starters or silhouettes of the starters. Maybe just the names and silhouettes. Give us a teaser to get us ready for next year. Do not announce the game is happening. Do not announce that it's coming out anytime soon. Save it for the 30th anniversary. End it with a teaser. So I'm going to throw that one top middle. A teaser of Pokemon Generation 10, and my last prediction will tie into Pokemon Legends ZA. And this is total wishful thinking. Do I think this is going to happen? Absolutely not. But I think we are due for a distribution in Legends ZA. If you pre-order the game, you get AZ's Floette. It is time that we release this Pokemon. It is time that we get this Pokemon as a playable character. Make it happen. Quit being a coward and give us AZ's Floette. I'm throwing that as my last spot in my bingo card. Again, probably the least likely to happen out of all of these on here. Again, Pokemon Day is February 27th, 2025. That is this Thursday as of this recording. We'll see how many of these I get correct and see if I get a bingo anywhere. Feel free to share your comments. Maybe there are some that you feel like, heck yeah, I would love that, or heck no, you're completely wrong, that's not happening, or that's not going to happen. Feel free to leave it in the comment section and make sure that you're appropriate, as my channel is family friendly. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I do a lot of playthroughs on my channel. I'm live almost every Tuesday as of right now, and Saturdays as of this recording. And I do a lot of shorts, and I'm trying to get more videos on the channel like this one. So if you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing and share my link with your friends. As always, I am Pastor Plays. Thank you for checking out my Pokemon Day 2025 predictions, and I'll see you guys on the next one.